Welcome back to another episode of me talking to myself and streaming online, and sometimes getting some few viewers to say hi and say something. We are going to continue. Actually, it's not just me talking by myself. It's me also facing a lot of technical issues. It's been a bunch of issues over the past few streams. I have a feeling I'm getting sabotaged over here by Spectrum. Because every single time I try streaming, within an hour or two or a few minutes, it drops. So as of right now, we're good. But if I do drop, I'm going to have to come right back. So if the stream goes down, we got to bring it back up. Because we are at, let's see how many hours. We're at 32 hours and 42 minutes. So that means we're about 28 hours and change away. No, actually 27 hours and change. So let's round it up actually and say we're at 28 hours left, and I mean we're right where we want to be. We have exactly 1 week left, so we have to stream 4 hours every single day on average. So so if every day that I don't stream 4 hours, that's more than 4 hours that I have to do the next day, or eventually until I get to the last day, and then hopefully I just have to do 4 hours, or hopefully less if we go long. But in the last video we got stuck. We were stuck at a certain point, and then I had to leave. I had not an emergency, but something came up, so I had to leave the stream yesterday. But we're back, and we have 7 days left, about 28 hours to go, 4 hours a day, and that way we don't lose. I'm pretty sure my friend is going to not lose. So we're doing all of this so we can push on the bet. So let me get the clock stream started. The clock for the stream started. Actually, my sound is probably horrible right now because my microphone's far away. But there we go. Now we have the microphone a little bit closer. Let us start the stream. I'm sorry if I sounded really low then. But we're good. We're good to go. So we are at 32 hours, and there goes the timer. Perfect. Okay. So just to recap and try to get my mind back into the swing of things, we got stuck with the here at the bottom. I was trying to retrieve everything from the database. Let me back up a second, just in case anyone's watching this for the first time. Hopefully not, because you probably won't subscribe. You probably are not going to be interested in this. But basically what I'm doing is I'm trying to create a form submission, a submission form kind of thing, where someone types in or someone enters their name, a few details that I need, and then this gets saved to a database. So yesterday we found a couple of potential bugs. We do have some issues in here that I mean I spent some time trying to fix them, but I have no idea how to fix them. So I'm not going to spend too much time on those things. So like the main bug, or the main thing that I'm noticing, is that if someone types in their, enters all their information that they need. Let me just show you. And then they select. Here's the biggest problem right now. Let me turn on this light. Okay, there, I'm a little bit brighter. The biggest problem right now is if someone chooses a program. So down here, I'm able to see what the person is selecting. This is just for debugging purposes. Obviously, the person that's actually typing this out is not going to see this. But I'm doing this for debugging purposes, and I'm noticing that when someone chooses the program that they're in, that will work. But if they then choose another program, so watch down here. So the program name is units, and that's correct right now. But if they then choose another program, like APCSP, that gets changed correctly, but the training that gets filled in, so for some reason when I choose one program and then I choose another one, the first item gets selected in the dropdown, which I'm okay with. I am okay with, even though it's not consistent. I really do think if they choose a program, it should either not select any trainings for them, or it should put the first one up. So they could see, oh, no, that wasn't the date that I went to or the time. So I'm going to select that. Actually, now that I think about it, I think a better user experience would be to not highlight, not show anything. So it should just say like, choose a training date or time or something like that. Choose a training date, title, and time. But the way that it currently works is I selected units first, then I selected APCSP, and we see that right here there's a training filled in the dropdown. But if you look down here, that training has not been captured. So for some reason, we're showing the first item when we select the second program or the third program, or no matter which one we select. But what's happened, it always shows the first item in the dropdown, but it's not filling it in unless I specifically click on the training and then select something else, and then you see it getting filled in. So I spent some time yesterday trying to figure out why that wasn't working the way I intended or the way I was hoping, but I could not figure it out. So after a while we ended up giving up and deciding that that's not something we're going to go crazy trying to figure out. At least not for the purposes of this stream. I don't think it'd be useful or very productive to spend like 4 hours just trying to debug this specific thing. So I skipped over it after I gave it a decent shot. And the next thing I worked on, so I could submit the form. So when I hit submit form, you'll see over here on the right, we received a message back from the server that we received the form and saved it to the database. So if I go back to my my command line or my terminal window over here, we should see that this was just saved. So this is the item I just saved in the database. And if we want to look at what's actually in the database, we can type in db.forms.find, and we can make it pretty so we can see all the items. And right now there are a few items in the database, 3 items in the database. Okay, so that is good. Then the next thing I was working on was I created a button. I created a button here that would allow me to send everything that's in the database back to the front end. I mean, this would not be functionality that a user that's filling out a form would need to see, but I want to just be able to have that available. So, when we have like an admin account that's supposed to see all of these forms eventually, I wanted to be able to send it from the back end to the front end. And that is an Angular thing. We created the route in, let me go back to my code. We created the route on the server to receive a GET request, which is right over here. And what it does is it searches for all of the items in the database and sends that back as the response. So right now, if I click on the button, right now you don't see anything because there was no GET request made to the server. But if I go over to my front end and I click Get Forms, I already hooked in that logic. So when I click on Get Forms, you'll see down here in the console that I ended up console.logging it when we received it, but we do get an array that has the 3 items. We get an array with an array inside of it that has 3 items of that each represent the 3 names that were entered into the database, the 3 forms that were submitted. So what I then wanted to do was I wanted to display, what I'm thinking is I want to be able to click Get Forms and then have all of the forms show up underneath. So that's where we kind of left off yesterday because I got stuck. Let me show you the code. I kind of got stuck on what this should look like on the front end. So where is the... right here, this get forms method that I wrote, we have an HTTP GET request. So this is hitting the server on the slash, the main URL. And then I remembered that I had to, I think I was able to subscribe and receive all the forms as a response and then console.log it. So this is where this is coming from. But I need to transform that data, I think. And actually, I'm not 100% sure why I need to do that, which isn't a good reason to do it. I just know that we should be, or so I've heard, that we should be piping and I guess looking at every single item that's coming in before we subscribe to it, I think. So let me see if so we got stuck. Oops. We got stuck on, so we got stuck right here. So we had the pipe method, then we have the map method inside of the pipe, or the map function, which we brought in up here from RxJS operators. But honestly, I'm not 100% sure why we're doing this. So maybe I should look at that. Either way, I was doing this wrong. So I watched a tutorial video yesterday, and if I don't make a mistake, I should be able to fix this according to how it should be. So what I need to do is I should map the all right, hold on. Let me think of how to do this again. So what they did in the tutorial was they created a property inside of this component, and we're going to name it all forms. And what we should do is we should push the forms from the array into that property, and then that property is going to be returned. We have to return it at the end of all of this. So return this dot all forms, and that's what's going to be passed to the subscription. Hello, Adrian. How's it going? Welcome. So that is why I think this is the way that I was supposed to do it. Why am I getting an issue? Map. So after doing all the map things. Oh, you know why? Because this is not the right way to do this. The return should be in here. But what I should do is, okay, let me try to remember what he did. He used a for in loop. So how do we do it in JavaScript? It's not often I've used a for in loop. JavaScript for in loop. Yeah, loop through an array. So I think we receive the array, and then we go through each item in the array and transform it, even though we're not transforming it. Maybe that's why he did it. Maybe that's why he did this, because he needed to transform the data in some way before he sent it to the front end. And I think that's why. So I think that's why he did that. But we're not going to do that. We're not. I mean, are we? I don't know. Let's not transform it. Let's just see if we could see it, and then we'll just send it to the front end. So the reason I think he was transforming it is because the way that it was coming back from the database was not the way that ours is coming back from the database. I think. So he had to add another key value paired to the object that was coming back from the database, whereas I don't think we have to do that. So Adrian, I am working on a form submission kind of thing. So let me just show you the front end here. So basically, this is like a side project that I'm doing. It's like something that would help me at my job. Because right now we use Google Forms. I'm basically reinventing the wheel, but I'm doing it because I'm trying to learn this stuff and trying to figure it out. So it's kind of fun to do anyway. I don't know if I would ever end up using it, but it's fun to create this and work on a project. And so basically what I'm doing is, or basically the problem I'm trying to solve is that we currently have, at my job, we have people fill out forms, but the forms have a lot of different spaces where people can type things in, which creates a problem because sometimes they write things that they shouldn't in places that they shouldn't write them. So it's like, because it's too easy to make a mistake. It's too easy to, fill out the wrong box or not know what's required or something like that. So I decided, why don't I just make it so that the person has to fill out every single item here, and I'll create the form for them. So eventually the nice thing would be to, they hit submit form, and then it saves it as a PDF, or takes all the information, creates a PDF, and then saves it in the database for the people that need to see it, like me or someone on my team that needs to see it. So that is the basic idea of what I'm trying to build here. And I'm using JavaScript, TypeScript, Angular, MongoDB, Mongoose, and Express, and Node for all of this. So it sounds complicated, and it kind of might look complicated, but it's, I'm getting stuck here and there, but it's been fun, and it's you know, it is what it is. It's a good learning experience. So that is what I'm working on right now. Now I don't think I'm gonna like go to my job and be like, hey, this is done, let's use this, but I still want to like learn how to do it. So I figured it's a good project to work on. Although I guess you could say this is for fun. And the reason I'm streaming is because one of my friends bet that we made a bet, me and one of my friends, that I would have to stream 60 hours and he would have to do 10 workouts. And he's up to 9 workouts right now with 7 days to go. So he's going to make it, I'm pretty sure, unless he gets like injured walking and then he like can't work out. But I have about 28 hours, actually 27 hours and like 4 minutes left to not lose $500. So basically, I'm doing all this so that I don't lose any money, but I don't really make any money either because he's going to win. I'm going to hopefully win until we both tie, so it's a push. So no one wins and no one loses. I guess, I mean, we win in a sense that he gets to do his workouts and I have 60 hours of me streaming, coding stuff and learning stuff and forcing myself to have to do a project. Okay, so how do we use the for in loop here? Okay, so const property in object. And actually, maybe this isn't what I need to do because I don't think we're receiving an object back. Maybe let me search JavaScript for in array. Because if you look at what we returned from the front end, so when I click get forms, we get an array back, not an object, but it's an array with another array with 3 objects inside. So yeah, these are the fields that I wanted, but this isn't the structure that I want. I mean, so maybe what I could do, actually it might make sense to use that for in loop. So what I can do is I can go into the array that's inside of the array and take out every object and attach every object to another array that I'm going to then pass on to the front end. So that is what I think I'm going to do next. Because right now, if I just send this back, it's an array inside of an array. And I don't even know why it's being formatted like this. Maybe I could figure that out. So that is being sent from the back end to the front end. So the server is grabbing all the forms. So it's looking for all the forms inside of... It's looking for all the forms inside of my database. And then it's returning all of the forms. And I think... All right. This is not like Xcode where I could see how the send method works. Oh, wait, can I? It sends JSON, it looks like. Or I could send anything, it looks like. Yeah, I could send any type. But maybe because I'm not defining what the type of forms is, it's somehow coming in as an array. You know what? Why don't I console.log the type of forms? So I think type of is a keyword that I could use. And so this is going to come up on the server. So over here in the server, which is right here, when I run that get forms request. So let me pull up the this over here. Let me make this a little bit smaller so we can kind of see it. So I'm going to click get forms, and we should be able to see what the type of the forms is before it gets sent back. So it says object. Okay, so forms is an object. So that means it's JSON. So it's sending back JSON. Let me get rid of this type of. Adrian says, I was watching just now a couple of your old videos. I'm currently on Unit 2, Lab 2 making lists. They helped a lot. Glad to hear, Adrian. I'm glad those videos were able to help. Are you doing BJC right now for the first time, or are you just doing it for fun, or did you already take the class and you're just looking back at old videos? I'm curious. Okay, so it returns an object, so it returns JSON, I believe. Yeah, it says document, an array of documents. Wait, whoa. It says an array of documents. So maybe this is why it looks like that. It's returning an array with something of any type. Yes, I'm doing it now for AP CSP. Oh, wow. So Unit 2, Lab 2. So that means you probably had school start over the last month. Kind of crazy to think about, actually. And actually, I think BJC has changed. So I've heard that it's changed a little bit, like the order of some of the labs. So I think for the most part it's the same, but the order is different. So some of the labs got moved to different places, maybe a different unit. Maybe it's under a different unit. Oh, summer work. Gotcha. Oh, wow. So your teacher's having you do a lot of work before you come in, so you have a lot of knowledge before you actually start. That's good. Is this your first time coding, or have you done any other coding on the side, or like any computer science-ish kind of stuff? Just on Code Academy to take notes as well. Cool. I got started with Code Academy. What year was it? It must have been like 2014, 15, maybe 2013. So yeah, I did JavaScript. That's how I learned Java. Well, Code Academy helped with me learning a little bit of JavaScript. My first time learning like a programming language and like really trying to take it seriously was on Code Academy. I started with JavaScript, and I think I got stuck, or I ended up giving up, and then I got a book. This book called Head First JavaScript. Let me pull it up so you could see. Head First JavaScript. And then I spent the whole summer of summer 2014. I spent that entire summer, pretty much every single day, for like, I don't know, 6 hours or so, working through this book and doing every single problem and like writing everything out. And it took me 2 months to do this entire book, and it was awesome. And this created the foundation for like pretty much everything I've learned and know right now. I've done multiple STEM programs and was in a computer programming class last year. Oh, awesome. Cool. Yeah, so when I was in high school, I took 2 programming classes, and I didn't take it seriously. I just did it to like be like with my friends, and because I liked working with computers, but I really didn't know what I was doing. It wasn't until years later that I was like, you know what? I want to actually learn how to code, and I want to like, create things or something. So when I was in high school, you're way ahead of me right now, working on projects and learning this stuff. Or you're way ahead of where I was back then. Okay, so it looks like this returns an an array, as we can see right there. And maybe that's why we get the array of arrays. We get an array of an array with objects inside of that array. And actually, maybe I could display that right here. So before I do all this piping and all that stuff, I am going to, okay, so I should be able to console.log this.allForms. No, not this.allForms. No, that's not what I want. I want to log out the forms that I receive. So this should display what I receive from the server. Let me go back to my front end. When I click Get Forms, okay, here we go. It's an array. Okay, so this is what we get from the server. We get the array with objects inside of it. So part of me just wants to save this. Okay, let me think. Part of me just wants to save what we get back from the server and just use it in here, like however we want. But then the other part of me thinks maybe we should do something to this. Actually, you know what? This is probably fine. But then the other part of me is thinking, maybe I want to add something. Maybe I want to transform this array or these objects in some way. Like maybe I want to add another property that says like the date or something that this is being submitted without them seeing it on the front end. But I'm not really doing that. So do I really have to go through all this? You know what? I'm just going to write a note here. I mean, why am I making my life harder if I don't know exactly why? That's, I guess, the question. So I'm just going to take a note here that says, I know I have to use a for in loop to transform the data here before passing it to the subscription. Yeah, let's just go with that. Why make my life harder? You know, we'll leave this here just in case we got to change it later on and we have to transform that data. But whatever. You know what? We get the forms. Let's just use them. So instead of console.logging the forms, I am going to set. Okay, so I'm going to. Can I just push all of the forms into. Or can I just set. I already created the. I created the property all forms. Can I just set all forms, this.all forms, can I just set it equal to forms? And let's console.log this.all forms. All right, hold on, I'm getting some issue here. The object type is assignable for very few other types. Did you mean to use any type instead? Sure. I think because it doesn't know what the type of the data that's coming in. All right. Hold on, let me hit. Hello, Chan. How's it going? Welcome back. Good to see you again. So yeah, I mean, these videos, like these streams, I don't know how much people are going to get out of them because it's kind of hard to like watch me think, struggle, figure stuff out. But feel free to hang out. Feel free to chill, ask questions about anything. You know, I'm here to just hang out and just code because I have no other choice, basically. And we are at 33 hours. So we have 27 hours, actually less than 27 hours now, but that we have to get to by the end of the month. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, including today, we have 7 days. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh no, we have 8 days, including today. All right, so we're doing okay. We're still not, we still don't have to put in a 24-hour session. We're still good. Okay, so I think this error I'm getting, this issue is that it doesn't know what the type is of what's coming in. Yeah, the object type is assignable to very few other types. The type object is missing the following properties from type any. Length, pop, push, concat, and 26 more. But I'm not using any of those methods, so I think I should be able to get away with this for now. But eventually, I might have to tell it what the format of the data that's coming in is. And maybe I should just do that. Let me see if this runs. Oh, no. Uh-oh. Object type is assignable to very few other types. Okay, same error. So I guess we have to say what the type of this data that's coming in is. And we're going to do that right here, I believe, on the get method. So the thing that's coming in is going to be an array. How do I do this? Can I do an array like that with objects inside of it? And do I have to list everything that's coming in? Let's see. Let's see if we can do this. So ID is going to be of type, and I think we just have to say the types. String. Well, hold on. Let's fix this. So this is a string. This is a string. Let me just copy that. String. This is a number. This is a string. This is a string. This is a string. A lot of strings. And this is a number, but maybe we can leave this out. Let me hit save. Let me hit save and see if this works. If when I click the... Actually, the way I'll be able to see if this... Actually, I think it did work. Because look, now we don't have that error anymore. And the way I can probably test to see if it works, if I do forms dot full name? No. How do I see if it works? How could I test that? And I'm not even sure if this is right. And ID isn't a string, it's an object ID, which I think is its own type. All right, let me just remove that and let's see if this works. So I'm going to hit get forms and see if we can log it out, because if we can, that means it works. All right, we get an array with 3 objects inside. So I think that worked. This.all forms. Let's see. Actually, let's see if we can see the. Let's see if that worked. So I'm going to look at the first item, so the 0th item, and when I hit dot, no, it's not saying it's. Well, let's try full name. Oh no, it is. It's working. I just have to start typing what the property could be. So if I type in, oh, maybe not. Let's try email and see if it just displays the email for the first item. So I believe that was Tony Bigfoot's email. So get forms, and we get tony@bigfoot.com. Okay, so this works. I think this is, I mean, this looks really ugly. So I think what I'm supposed to do is say what this what this object thing is. I'm supposed to say what this object is, and then I could do an array. I could tell it that there's an array of these objects coming in. Maybe we could do that. How do we do that? All right, let me Google TypeScript. TypeScript declare a type. Or create type, maybe. Create type from object? Create type from object. Okay, how to create a type from a JavaScript object. Okay, type of, no. No, that's not what I want. One of TypeScript's core principles is that type checking focuses on the shape that values have. This is sometimes called duck typing or structural subtyping. And TypeScript interfaces fill the role of naming these types, and they're a powerful way of defining contracts within your code as well as contracts from outside of your project. So I could say it's of type. So I could give the object a type, and then like this, interface, and then I could say that that's the of type square config. Let's try this. Let's create this interface. All right, I believe that's, I mean, that sounds right. So let's, where do we put it? Inside of the component? This thing is getting really long now. So interface, and how do we do that? And then we name it. So interface, a post. Post object, I'll call it. Post object, and it has all of these properties, just like I put in here. Why am I getting an error here? Constructor method accessor property was expected. Am I not setting that up right? Oh, whoops. I guess I don't need these extra curly braces. Interface, unexpected token, a constructor method accessor or property was expected. TypeScript create interface. How do I create an object based on the interface? Okay. Declare const. Okay, that's not, I mean, why is this not working? Oh, you know why? Maybe they're supposed to be lowercase. Oh my goodness. TypeScript, is it uppercase or lowercase? So TypeScript string. Let's see the types. Oh my goodness, they're lowercase. I did them uppercase because I guess I had I had mongoose on my mind. So string, that's lowercase, and number must be lowercase too. Let me hit save. That didn't fix the error either way. String, string, string. These should all be, and wait, these should not be, there should not be a semicolon at the end of all these. There should be commas. And string should all be lowercase. And number should be lowercase. Let me hit save. We're still getting errors. What is the error here? Untyped function calls may not accept type arguments. All right, let's hold off on that. I guess the interface is not right. Maybe I have to put it outside of the class. And so now I could use this interface. So post object is the name of the thing. So this, it should be getting an array of post objects. And now this should still detect .email, .full name. Okay, it looks like it is. I don't know why it's not suggesting it, but I mean it should. Maybe it's forms dot. What I could do is I could console.log type of this dot all forms. So we can see on the front end if it maybe will say it. All right, let me just comment that. Oops, let me comment just this line out. And we'll see if it's giving us the right type. I don't know. Maybe it might say like array or it might say object. But let's see. So when I click on get forms, it says object. Yeah. Type of. Can I do something like this? So okay. So look at that. I mean, all forms is of type any, but it really shouldn't say that. All form. Oh, you know why? Because all forms is of type post object. It's an array of post objects. But why is that not working? Only first to type, but it's being used here as a value. Oh, the type. All right, so what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to assign post object to all forms. But what I really want to do is I want to say all forms is of type. So I need to use the colon post object and then set it equal to an empty array. And now I should be able to access this dot all forms dot and no, it's still not showing. Actually, let's see if I hover over it, does it say post object? There you go. So it does say it's of type post object, which is, well, it's an array of post objects. So if I open up the first one and then I hit period, there it is. Perfect. Oh my God. I get excited when the little things work, as you can probably tell. Yeah, so I want VS Code to be able to know what's inside of this array of all forms. And it's working. My interface is working. So now, okay, so now I don't need to display that. I know that'll work. So now, and now that I set all forms equal to forms, I assign this from whatever comes in, and it knows that forms is coming in as a post object because I put that right here. So an array of post objects, it knows is coming in because of this thing. Okay, so now I should be able to, on the front end, once they come in, I should be able to, so once this array of objects comes in, I should be able to go through the array and display all of the items on the front end. So let's do that. So I'm going to go over to Bootstrap. Let me just close some of these things. Thank you, Google. Let's go over to Get Bootstrap, and let's look at a way to display all of the items inside of the database in a nice manner. We'll go to Documentation, Components, and probably card. No, a list group. Yes, a list group looks kind of nice. Doesn't need to be clickable. Actually, do I want a list group? Is there a better way? Yes, this one. I like this one. This list group I like, because it'll have a heading, and then I could have the, that could be the name of the person, the full name, and so on, and everything else underneath it. Okay, so let's use one of these list groups. And I don't need any to be active, so I'm just going to copy everything up to here, and then close out this div. So let me copy that. Let me go back to my front end over here, the component, and all forms. After all forms, we are going to, let's create another row. We'll do another row first. Row dot, and then we'll create another column, but we'll make this one smaller so it doesn't go all the way across. We'll just make it a 4. That's not how you do it. Okay, column. I think no. I was trying to figure out a way to shorthand it, but I guess I don't remember off the top of my head. So we'll just create the row, and then we'll create the column. Let me put the period first. I keep messing that up. There we go, because I got to put that on the class. And actually, we're not going to go 12 across. We're going to go just 4. And then here, we'll paste that list group. So let's just save this, make sure that it's showing up on the front end. There it is. Looks a little bit big, but maybe 4 is too small. Let's go with 6. So we'll go halfway across. So this is in a row. Whoa, I messed up. This row should not be within this row. So let us take that out. Let's go to the end of this row, and then we'll put it underneath that. There we go. So now that looks better. Is that halfway across? Why do I have these breakpoints? Let me just do that. Let's go 8 across. All right, so that looks a little bit better. Whatever. Let's just go all the way across. What am I doing here? Okay. I don't need it to be active, so let's remove the active class. There we go. And now I want to have multiple list groups. So in the heading here, I'm going to put the name of the person, the full name. 3 days ago. Well, I'll put the maybe their email there instead. This is going to be their I don't know, training, date, title. Actually, let's put the program. Let's make this a program. So I'm just trying to see what it's going to look like. So their name, the program that they're in, the training date, title, time, whatever. Title, time, date, title, time. Let's start with that. I can't even remember what's in what we have to display. All right, so this we're going to repeat each one of these items. So this is a list group item, I believe. Yes. So if I have multiples, this is going to go like this one. The next one would go underneath it, right? There, we could see it. We see them both. Okay, great. So that means I could remove this. And I want to use an ng4 on the ahref. So this is a structural directive that allows me to make a bunch of these things. So ng4. So this is going to be a form, let form of all forms. So all forms is going to be hooked into, or it's going to grab it from here. That's my property. And for every single form, I'm going to make a new one of these. So right now, if I just hit save, I should have, I guess when I click get forms, there we go. I have 3 items because there are 3 objects inside of the array. Okay, that's good. Why is it showing me this? Why is it showing that? Oh, because I have all forms down here. Let me remove that. There we go. And so now when I click get forms, we see all of the items that are inside of the database. But I don't want to just show the same thing for all of them. I want to show the full name. So here we can do, let me use curly braces, and we'll access it by accessing form dot full name. When I hit save, we should see, when I click get forms, we should see, oh, whoa, that is not what we want to see. But the reason we see that is because we didn't close the curly braces. When I click get forms, we see the names for the people that are in the database. So that is beautiful. Tony Bigfoot, Sally Sue, and Lakazjada Al-Sajidakov. So those are our 3 people that we have in our database right now. It says program, it says training date, it says all that same stuff. But now I know that I could access what came back from the database. So I'm not worried. Let's continue. The program. So let me just see in the components, what is it that we have? What do we have for the person? We have their full, okay, so I'm going to copy this for a second, just so I know what's available to us. Let me paste it over here. Okay, so we have the full name. I want to put their email address. Do I want to put it right next to their name? Maybe their full name and maybe no, I want the program on the right. I like that on the right. Maybe I'll put their email address underneath their name. So let's use a small for that. And we'll put that under, actually to be underneath the name. I guess we have to, I guess we'll put that in here in the paragraph. Can we do that? Or maybe put the small outside of it. Let me type in email and see what that looks like when I click get forms. Yeah, we'll do that. So the email will go right underneath. Okay, so that is going to be open and closing curly braces. That's going to be the form.email. All right, so we have the full name. We have the email address. I don't need to display their, actually, should I? Would someone using this actually want to see their file number? Uh-oh. You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking we should use a table instead of a list group. Yes, I think we're going to do that instead. We're going to have to modify our code a little bit. Yeah, because we're going to want to display more than just this. We're going to want to actually have a table with a bunch of rows and a row for each person. Actually, I'm okay with it. You know, some people might say, well, I've gone too far. But I say that we have 26 and a half hours to go. So we can take our time here. So let's create a table. All right, let's search for table. And which one do we want to go with? Ooh, I kind of like this one with the dark. All right, so let's use this. We're gonna copy paste this table into oops, I think there should be a copy button. There it is. We're gonna copy this into our form. So when we click get forms, that's when we're gonna see our table. Instead of using these list item group things, whatever they're called. Yeah, list group items. All right, so let's we'll just put it underneath. Put it underneath our form right now. And so when I click get forms, it gets pushed down, and that's okay. And the reason I did that is because Okay, so the reason I'm leaving it there for now is just because I want to like bring these, be able to copy paste over like some of these things. So I'm gonna have to repeat every row, a row for every person. What else do we want to have in there? So we're gonna have the first name, last name. Actually, it's just full name. We don't have it split up by first and last names. So let us go back to our table, and instead of first last, we just do a full name because that's how we saved it in our database. Their email address, if I could spell correctly. What else? Full name, email. What do I have here? Their file number. Let me just type in email like that. I don't like how big this table is, by the way. Let me hit save and see what that looks like. Full name, email, file number. Let's add a couple more things. So we have the program. I need to know what program they're in. So we have a table header. Scope equals call. I'm just copying what they have right there. I have no idea what I'm doing. This is going to be the program, selected program. That's the program that the person is in. A selected training. Let's just get these up. I don't need a number, so I'm not going to have a file number. So this actually might look right for now, even though it's not going to be correct. All right, so we'll get this working right in a little bit. Actually, right now. So in the first row, okay, so let me just delete all these rows because we just have to make one. And then we'll repeat each one for every item in the database. So scope row, why do I have to do that? Well, let's see. If instead of row, I here, actually, hold on, wait. I'm going to let's leave it as at 1. And I'm going to repeat these, I'm going to repeat one of these, table row, TRs, I guess, for every item in the list. So ng4, set it equal, and this is going to be very familiar. It's going to be the same thing that I have over here right now, which is to repeat this for every form of all forms. Okay, so if I hit save, we should see 3 rows. And we do. 1, 2, 3. Great. I think that scope row thing or scope whatever is making it bold. If I remove that, will it not be bold? Oh, whoa, that's a table header. Or TH. Is that right? The header cell in a table. Wait a second. I think I screwed up my scope is call, email. I think I messed up a little bit. I messed up my my table over here. T head, T body. What did I do? Did I paste the table twice? Let's delete this table. I might have made it twice, which is not what I want. Let me hit save. See what that looks like. All right, now we don't have anything. Let form of all forms. It should make one of these for each one, but it doesn't. Get forms. Oh, there it is. There it is. So it's making one for each item. Yes, that's fine. Oh, what's happening is that when I refresh this, right now it doesn't have all forms is empty. It's an empty array. But when I click on get forms, then it receives, okay, we have 3 things in all forms, so we're going to make one for each one. And I just have the same thing in each one right now, so that's not very helpful, but now it knows how many are supposed to be in there. So I really shouldn't show this until we have all forms has items inside of it. So maybe I'll make the table an ngIf. And I'm only going to show this if all forms has things inside. So I guess if it exists, or if all forms.length, is greater than or equal to 1. Can I do that? No. All forms does not exist on type app component. Did you mean all forms? Yeah. Isn't that what I... Oh, I did lowercase f. Uppercase f. There we go. There we go. So now there should be nothing there until it comes into existence. There we go. Look at that. It's nice when it works. Okay, so let me fix this now. Let me remove this this scope attribute thing. TH. I don't want to have a TH. Can I just make this TD? So I could just have the headers up here and the cells underneath. Get forms. Yep, that looks better. I guess that scope attribute gives it makes it bold. I think that's why they have that there. Okay, so continuing on, we're going to put the full name as the first cell. Okay, so that is going to go in here. So the reason I left this one is because I could just copy paste full name, form.fullname, because that's going to be each item in the array, and then put that right here. The second column is going to be the email, so I can just copy that from right here, form.email. The third item is going to be the, what did I write? The file number. So curly braces form.file number. Save. And the fourth column is going to be the selected program. Form.selected program. All right, let me hit save. And let's test it out. Moment of truth. When I click get forms, look at that. Look at that data. It looks beautiful. All right, so let me I can get rid of all this now. That's going to be this div, I believe. Let me just make sure. Is this the list group? Everything in the database get form. Yes, this div. I can remove all that. Now we have our table there. Okay, and when I hit get forms, we get our table. I don't actually like how thick it is. I like my tables to be very small. So let us see how we can do that. I'm sure you could do zebra striping. I don't really care about that, but I do care about. Actually, do I want borders? It's all right without it. I don't really care. These are hoverable. I actually kind of like that. So add the table hover class within a T body. So that is going to be, I'll add that class to the table. Not a problem. Right now ours does not, it's not hoverable. So if I just add that class to the table right here, hit save, now our table is hoverable. Once we get the forms, now we could hover over each item and you see it grayed out. But it's still not what I want. I want it to be small. There we go. Table small. Yeah, I don't want the rows to be like so tall. So let me add that here to this class. And now when I hit get forms, look at that. I like it. It's nice and compact. Okay. So we have our full name, our email, the file number of the person, the selected program that they're in. Is that what I want? Is that everything I want? Do I want anything else? Let me think. Oh, and I named it selected program like that. Let me just capitalize that. Selected program with a space in between. Is there anything else I need in this form, or anything else I want to display to the administrator? Selected school. Full name. You know what? We'll just leave it at that. We'll leave it at this. good enough. We don't need to go like too crazy because this is not something that would even be shown on the front end for the person that's entering the form. But let's fill out a form and see that it actually works. So full name, this one's going to be, let's think of a name, Clarence Banana Head. And his name is C Banana. Let's make Banana Head one word, not that it matters. cbanana@fruit.com. File number is 999-888. Let's pick a random school for Clarence Banana Head. And I think that's everything. So everything's ready to go. I'm going to hit submit form. The form was received and saved to the database. Now when I click on get forms, we see Clarence Banana Head down here. So it works. We have our table all filled out and great. Good to go. Now hold on one second. I just got a text from my mom, so I can't really ignore her. Okay, so that's that. Let's see what this looks like if it's a little bit wider. I think it'll probably, yeah, it looks better when it's wider. So someone using this on, you know, I don't know what it'll look like on a phone, but, oops. I don't know what it'll look like on a phone, but it's probably not going to be too pleasant to look at. If it's really small, yeah, I mean, it's not great. That's okay. All right, so I think you should all be able to see it, see the way it looks right now. And I think we're happy with this so far. I mean, obviously, you know, in the future, if we are going to actually like really go all out and develop this, then you want to be able to like, you know, click on a little caret or an arrow that will like, you know, sort everything that's in here by email, by file number, maybe by the school, or we could have filters. So we could filter out anyone that's in a certain district or in a certain program, because I don't need to show every single person in every program. That's probably not going to be useful for someone who's looking at this data. They probably want to just select everyone from the same program or just filter out everyone from the same program. And I could actually probably put like a little search bar in here that will create a filter for that. And it probably wouldn't be too difficult to get that done. But we'll leave it at this for now. We're happy with this progress that we've made. We're not happy with the fact that when someone chooses a program name, it doesn't fill in the training if they choose another program, even though in the drop down it does look like this one's available. And the reason that really bothers me is because someone could click on one program by accident, then click on the other, see that this is the training that they attended, and then not. I mean, right now when they hit submit form, or like it won't work, but I think it won't work. But the problem is that they might be like, oh yeah, I attended this one, so that's the one I'm supposed to submit. And they hit submit form, and then they'll get an error, and they'll be like, why? Like, I did everything right. I filled everything out. Everything's selected the way it should be. But they really have to change it and then go back, and I don't like that. But I mean, we do have a bunch of hours to go, so maybe we'll spend the time at some point to try to get that working. But I don't really feel like doing that right now. So what's next? Let me remove that everything in the database line, because I mean the button is pretty self-explanatory. Get forms is self-explanatory, and this is working. This is like literally hitting our back end and working. Maybe what I could do to kind of simulate like network traffic or a slow database request is to put the response in a set timeout. Maybe that would be kind of cool. Let's see. I mean, maybe I could do that. So it would be a set timeout, and then I could let's wait 3 seconds, so 3,000 milliseconds, and let's save that. Let's just spit back the response then. Okay, so now when I click Get Forms, it should take 3 seconds. So let me refresh. Now when I hit Submit Form, Get Forms, it should take 3 seconds before we see anything down here. Get Forms, I clicked it. There we go. And it comes up 3 seconds later. So that's what it could look like in real life. Like, you know, if let's say the network's slow, or, you know, it's not instantaneous, or it takes a while to grab all the items in the database, that's what it will look like. So that's kind of cool. So I'm going to remove this set time out because we don't need to simulate lag like that, or not lag, but a delay like that. Okay. Okay, so that's good. The save is good. So we could, okay, so now I got to figure out what we're going to do next. We have the form. Actually, why is this form? Let me, oh my goodness, they could actually, like, I don't actually like this. They could, like, you know, they have arrows to click on or type in a number. Maybe I should change that, but I think that's happening because on the front end, it expects, if we look at the app component, I'm sure here on the front end, the file number is of type number, so it's showing those arrows up and down because of that. It's probably a Bootstrap thing. So we could do styling that removes that, but that's not a big deal. What would be a good next step? All right, we have our server, we have our get forms working, so this, you know, this would work for the administrator. What else do we have? We created the interface. We're not using map because we're not transforming the data. We're just gonna save it to this property as it comes in. I'm just gonna close things out. Maybe I can get inspired by, all right, I closed everything out, we're done. Just kidding. All right, let me look at Bootstrap. Maybe I can get inspired by something else, and I could add something else to this thing. All right, we already have a table. We don't need another table. Let's go back to documentation. Maybe examples. Maybe there's something there that we could get inspired by. The checkout form. Let's look at that. Let's see how they're doing. And look at this dashboard. So let's look at the dashboard and let's look at the checkout form. I think those two things might inspire us, or, you know, get a light bulb going off in our heads. So this is their checkout form, I guess, for someone doing billing. And this is what ours looks like. It's kind of a big difference there. How come theirs looks like, how come this sizing looks so much better than ours? Let me look at my front end. In our app component.html, our form, where's the class on that? Form group row, call for label. Well, I don't see any reason why it's so big. Or maybe I forgot, maybe I don't have a class on this form, so that's causing that. Let's see how we, let's go back to Bootstrap. Let's look at the documentation for forms. And let's see if we're missing a class on the form. Form has no class. Form group, no. Yeah, I don't see why ours is so big. Styled with the form control class. Where is form control up here? I don't see that, so I don't know why we're form group. Here, form control class on the input. Do I not have it on my input? Input class form control plain text. Maybe we also need form control on it. Let me search for form control plain text. If you want input read-only elements in your form style as plain text, use a form control plain text class to remove the default forms field styling and preserve the correct margin and padding. What? If you want to have input read-only elements. I don't know why I have that. So why don't I just remove that stuff? How many of them are there? Let me find them all. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4. There's 3 of them, sorry. 1, 2, and 3. So let's delete that. Save. Let's look back at our form. I mean, now it's like compact, whereas before there was like a little bit of padding in between each. This is not that big of a difference. I don't really care. Right? I mean, maybe I do. Maybe I'll just put it back, hit save, and we'll see that our forms now have a little bit of padding in between each. Not a big deal. Whatever. We'll leave it for like that for now. Don't know why they're coming up like so big, but we'll leave it like that. Oh yeah, so look at this. This is what I want. I want it to say choose. How do they do that? Let me inspect the element. Actually, this is not gonna show me. Option value choose. Okay, so let me look at my options inside of my thing here. So where's options? Options. Or I made them. Oh, here we go. Here's options. Okay, how to make the first one? Maybe option value. Wait, I'm gonna do it just like they did. So value is an attribute, and make this choose. ... Let me hit save and see if that actually works. And then it'll create an option for all the other ones. So this is for the training date and time. Did that work? So when I choose a program, it says choose. There we go. Actually, this might work. This might be the way I need it to be. Okay, so instead of that, I'll just say choose the training you'd like to attend. And we'll do the same thing for the program. So that's going to be in the option. Where's the option? Oh, no. We don't need that in the program because we used a drop down now. But in the school, sorry, school is option. Choose your school. And I think I mentioned that because there could be hundreds or thousands. Whoops. Choose your school. ... The problem with this is that there could be like hundreds or thousands of schools. So eventually I'll have to change this to, I believe my friend said, I can't remember the name of it, but I could make it so that they could start typing in their school and it'll start searching through the database for the list of schools. Hold on. What does my mom want? Okay, I'm good. All right. Did I solve my problem just now? So now choose your school. What if they don't choose a school? Actually, so maybe what I'm gonna try to do right now is make it so that they can't hit submit unless the form is valid. And as of right now, when I refresh the form, it looks like it's all valid. You know, I could hit submit right now, and nothing's happening. Oh, I mean, that turns red, but I think everything should turn red. I think that'll be our next thing. So if they hit submit, or they can't hit submit until everything's been selected or everything's valid. And right now that's not the functionality we have. Yeah, so I want to prevent on the front end, I want to prevent a user from sending something to the back end that, is just bad or faulty or shouldn't even be looked at. So we could try to catch that on the front end and prevent the user from doing that, because right now on our back end, we're, if one of these fields is empty, we're not doing anything, I think. Let me go back to my server and we could see if that's actually the case. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I think so. Well, if there's an error, we're catching that. Oh yeah, we are, because if someone tries to submit something that's, everything's required, but if someone tries to submit something that isn't, that should be sent but isn't, we are able to catch that, and the server, the terminal window with the server running, will show that. Ideally, we would send the exact message back to the front end, but I want to prevent the front end from even sending something bad to the server. And when I say something bad, I mean like sending a form without the selected school. I want to prevent that from happening on the front end. But in the event that somehow that doesn't get sent and the front end still sends it somehow, then my server is catching it. So there's like two ways to prevent that problem from happening, or that error from going through. We have a server side, and now I'm going to work on the client side, the front end side. I want to make sure that they cannot hit submit until everything's been filled out. But if they somehow change the HTML, make that button, enable it or something, and then hit submit, my server will be like, no, we're not going to add that, which I think I have right now. It's good. But on the front end, I have to disable this form. So where is my front end code here for this for that button, the submit button, right here. So here we have to figure out how to do that. Whoa, it's a signature mechanism. I thought I removed that yesterday. Let me hit save. I thought I removed this yesterday. Maybe not. Or maybe I'm going crazy. So let me just hit save. That was something I did want to bring in to my project. I wanted to be able to capture like a user's like signature, and then maybe like submit, when they submit the form, send it as a picture or something. But we're just trying to get this thing working. And yeah, so if there's no school, that's empty. But choose your school. That's just an empty. That's empty. Basically, you can't choose a training you'd like to attend. ... I'd like to add. Or choose the training you attended, I should say. Okay, so they choose their school, they choose the program, and now they have to choose the training that you attended. So now this actually solves my problem. So now my problem before was that if they select a program and then select another one, that it was choosing the first item in the drop down. But I actually like it like this better. I like forcing them to have to choose which training they attended, even if the first item was the correct training. I think this is better user experience. Maybe not a better user experience, but better for me in actually getting it to work the way that I want. So we're going to go with that. This is perfect. I mean, I don't know about perfect, but this is good. This just solved our problem without us even realizing. And you'll notice that I'm drinking a lot of water. This has water. Don't get it twisted. I'm not drinking soda over here. So yeah, I'm just drinking a bunch of water because my throat gets dry really quickly. By the end of these sessions, like my throat is like dead. I really don't talk this much ever. But since I have to talk out loud, think out loud, it adds up. This is probably the most I've talked in a month, almost 34 hours of me talking and thinking out loud. All right, enough of that. Let's get back to our submit form. We want to disable that button. So how do we do that? Let's Google it. And wow, that we got from that inspiration we got from looking at this checkout form that the Angular team has provided. And actually, I didn't even finish looking at the dashboard or that. We'll come back to this. We'll come back to the for inspiration in a little bit. What I want to do, I want to Angular disable submit button. How do I make a submit button disabled? Let's open up that one. Disable submit button until all. That sounds like something that we want. Until all of the fields are filled in or until all the things are selected. That sounds like what we want. Disabling your Angular reactive form. Now, we didn't do a reactive form. We did a template-driven form. Template-driven form. That's what we did. So maybe I should do disable submit button template-driven. Angular form validation disable submit button. Let's open up a whole bunch of these. That was from 2018, January. Got 4 responses. Here's another. Template-driven forms in Angular, template-driven, disabling submit button. So this is like my process for finding an answer to something that I'm looking for. Here's one more. So what I usually end up doing, off stream, when I'm not streaming, I'm usually looking for YouTube videos or looking for articles on Stack Overflow. So like, I would say probably like when I'm first trying to find something, I search on Stack Overflow or I select a Stack Overflow answer. 99% of the time, maybe 95% of the time. And then if the answer doesn't make sense or if it's like difficult to understand or whatever, then I usually turn to YouTube and I try to find someone that's made a video of what I'm trying to figure out. Because as I mentioned maybe a few videos ago or a few streams ago, I have like a hard time like reading things and like making sense of what I'm reading. Like I get bored reading like answers to questions because there's so much text there and I just want like the quick and easy answer, or I want to see, maybe it's like me just wanting to see something like a little bit more interactive, even though video is not really interactive, but it's more engaging, I would say. Whereas like, reading through this, so, just take this article. Maybe this has the answer, but look how much reading I have to do. And like, I don't know if it's like I just see this and I get like bored instantly, or maybe not bored, but I get like, my heart's just like, oh, do I really have to read this entire thing to actually get the answer or get to the answer when someone could just explain it to me in like a sentence or in 2 sentences and like show me in like 10 seconds. Whereas with this, like, I don't know what's important. I don't know what isn't. So I'm just like reading through the entire thing and trying to make sense of it. But because we're on the stream and we have a bunch of time, I'm okay with like looking at these articles, reading these articles. Plus, every single time I like do anything that requires bandwidth, my stream has gone down. So I don't want to risk it. I don't want to chance it. I'd rather just open up a small article that's probably like a few, kilobytes, instead of trying to watch a YouTube video while I'm streaming. And who even knows what that does with the copyright thing? Even though I think it's fair use, I don't want to sit here, watch a YouTube video and have you watch. Not that there are many people watching, but it's kind of boring to watch someone watching a YouTube video. Okay, disable submit button until all mandatory fields are filled. Yes, that sounds like what we want. Let us check how we can disable submit button of a form until all mandatory fields are filled. Angular folks made this very simple. Okay, this is the form. Above one is a simple form that has the name, which made mandatory by adding the required type. Now, see below code which will disable the submit button until mandatory fields are filled. Or fields are filled. So they did disabled. They set that property. They binded it to this. They binded the disabled attribute to this property, the my form.valid, basically. Now we used f instead of my form. So instead of naming it my form, we named it f. F.form.valid. Let's see if that works. Okay, let's try it. So down here, on the submit button, I'm going to bind disabled to f.form.valid. Is that right? Let's save it. Let's test it out. So we saved it. Let's see if it's actually disabled. It is not. It's not disabled. Oh, because our form is valid. So let's make it not valid, or let's set that to not valid. So let me save this. There we go. So the form is disabled right now. And I think it's being disabled. It's disabled because there are required fields that are not filled. So if I type in a name, if I type in a file number, if I choose a school, okay, so far so good. It's still disabled. We can't submit. Let me choose the units. Let me type in an email address. Still disabled. This is good. And so now it should become enabled when I choose the training. There we go. And it's enabled. What if I choose, if I go back to choose the training you attended? Great. And it goes back to disabled if I go back to not an acceptable or not an appropriate response. What if it's enabled and then I delete or I go back to choose your school? Okay, disabled. What if I delete the file number? Okay, disabled. Okay. All right. I think this is good. I mean, it's good, but I could also see that. So I'm just thinking ahead that I know that if someone can type in a 5-digit file number, and I said before that the file number has to be either 6 or 7 digits. So I'm going to have to figure out a way to also catch that on the front end. Because right now, Angular doesn't think that a 5-digit number is a problem. Only the server knows that that's a problem when it comes in. So someone might, they might send a 5-digit number here, hit submit form, and they get an error. Well, they don't even see the error. I just see the error because I'm looking at the console. But they would be like, okay, everything's been submitted. Great. But it has not. So I think we should create some sort of alert to tell the person on the front end that everything went through correctly or not. So I'll figure that out in a little bit. So that's the next thing I want to, well, not the next thing I want to work on. The next thing I want to work on is making sure that, actually I want to double check that's all good, that there's no possible way of screwing this up. Name, number. So right now I'm going to choose things that aren't, okay, the email. Okay, so even still, like this email, on the back end, it's requiring that this is an email. The front end has no idea, I don't think. Yeah, so the front end should be catching this and making an alert or making a big stink over here, because that is not an email address, whereas this is, even though it's probably not real, but that is an email address. And so now if I click submit form, and actually because on the server we are making all emails lowercase, this should work. So let's test it out. Hit submit form. Actually, it does not. What did I forget to do? Do we get an error? Oh, sorry, the error doesn't give me a good reason why. Uh-oh, did I mess something up? Let's try typing in something else. Happy Gilmore. It's a great name. hgill at sandler.com. File number. Oh, maybe that's because maybe I didn't have a 6-digit file number. Maybe that was the issue. Let me choose a school, units, and a training. And I hit submit form. And we're good. Now I can hit get forms. And we see Happy Gilmore here at the bottom. Great. All right, so our front end is disabling that submit button until it has everything in there. But it's not checking to make sure that everything in there is appropriate. So we'll get to that. We will get to that. So I think this worked. I think this was we got lucky that the first article we looked at, I believe this was the first one that it opened up to. This first article was good. All right, let me close that out. Let me see if there's anything else that they say. Disabled ng form dot valid. So yes, so not valid, and that is exactly what we did. And I think that works because we have the required attributes on the in the HTML, right? Yeah, same idea. Or my form dot invalid. I wonder what the difference is between. Why use valid if we? I'm not sure. We'll use the not. Okay, so it says you could also use not valid in place of invalid. So it looks like you could use either one depending on how you want to form it or structure it. Let's see. Anything else? Oh, so look at how they're displaying. So they're displaying the. Oh, this is just a picture. I thought I could actually click on these things and see it. Can't bind to form group since it isn't a known property of form error. I don't think that has anything to do for us. So it looks like every answer that we're reading or looking at is what we ended up doing based on that first response we read and did. Okay, so whoa. Let's see. Can I use min length in our front end to make sure that the person puts in a 6-digit value, 6 or 7 digits? How do I do that? Can I do that? Hold on, let me blow my nose for a second. Can I do that? Maybe I have to create my own Angular directive to be able to do something like that. Not 100% sure though, but we'll look into it because we have plenty of time to fill up and get that working. Hold on one sec. Oh, sorry. Don't worry. I forgot. Okay. What is your question? And this person's like, what are you asking? All right, let's Google Angular HTML min and max length. Inputs. Oh, I guess we have to make our... Wait, there's a... Okay, let's look at this one. This page will walk through, and this is from March 2020, so this was just a few months ago. This page will walk through Angular min length and max length validation example. In a template-driven form, we need to use min length and max length attributes with ng model in HTML elements such as text input. In reactive form, we need to pass validators. So we're not using the reactive form, so we don't need to create that validators thing in form control. Let's see. Angular 4 uses no validate attribute by default, and I think we changed that. So we enabled the built or the default HTML5 validation thing by doing ng native validate, I believe. If we're using Angular 2, we need to write no validate attribute in the form, but I think they changed no validate to ng something. Uh-oh, maybe this isn't the answer we want. Or maybe we could do that. Min length 5. Can we let's try copying that in and putting that for the file number. Let's do min length and let's do 6. So, assuming this all works, if I have a full name, I have an email address, school, unit, and a training, if my file number doesn't have 6 digits, it will not be acceptable, but it is. Yeah, I did min length, but that did not catch that. So maybe it's not like this. Maybe I'm not doing this right. For file number. Okay, let's remove that because that did not work like we wanted it to. Let's find that thing here. Oh, we could have like a little little card or a little like banner or something show up. Oh wait, min length is, yeah, I mean, I did this right on the input. Maybe it does need to be a little bit different. All right, forget this answer, but let's try to find another. Let's try this one from June. This is Angular 8, which is much closer to our to what we're trying to do here. We're using Angular 10. Oh, my friend just texted me. He said he got to 10 workouts. Unreal. So he did it. He hit his side of the bet. I still have 26 hours to go. Not bad. So we are at 34 hours. I mean, we've gone over the hump. We just have, I could see the finish line. It's just a little far away right now. 26 hours to go. Or so. Congrats. I'm streaming. All right, that's great. Input type number, min and max length, Angular 8 code answer. Let's see if that's right. Max length on input. What is this? I do not like that answer at all. Look at this thing. All right. No, I don't even know how that works. So that is not the type of answer that we're looking for. Oh, was that the only thing I opened? Let's try again. Angular. Let's do Angular input min length. Validation. This is from the Angular guide, so this should be good. Validating form. All right, here we go. Required min length equals 4. Do I need to import something? All right, I got to read through this now. See, this is the thing about not watching a video. You actually have to read this. And I'm sure anyone here who, if any of your teachers heard me say that, they would they would not be happy. You can improve overall data quality by validating user input for accuracy and completeness. This page shows how to validate user input from the UI and display useful validation messages, which is actually what we want to do in both reactive and template-driven forms. Okay, before reading about form validation, you should have a basic understanding of the following. Types, okay, come on. We have a basic understanding of that. Here's the live example, but I want to go through it step by step. Validating input in template-driven forms. To add validation to a template-driven form, you add the same validation attributes as you would with native HTML5 form validation. Angular uses directives to match these attributes with validator functions in the framework. So I might need a validator function. Every time the value of a form control changes, Angular runs validation and generates either a list of validation errors that result in an invalid status or null, which results in a valid status. So as long as errors is empty, we are valid. You can then inspect the control's state by exporting ngModel to a local template variable. The following example exports ngModel into a variable called name. All right, so let's see how this works. Name is ngModel. Oh, we have a template variable here. Oops, what did I click? Okay. Maybe we should create that. Required min length equals. Let's try this one more time. min length equals, let's go with 5. And then let's see if it validates. So I typed in 5, I hit save. Let's see if it'll validate or make. All right, let me fill out everything else. And file number. If I type in just one digit, the min length is 5, so this should not become valid. But it does. All right, so something's wrong. Let me display the validity of the entire form. And we'll do that at the top. Where should we do that? Right up here at the top, above full name. So let us put the form, or f dot, what is it? F dot form. Can we see the entire form? No. Okay, f dot form dot value. No. F dot form dot errors. It should say null. Doesn't say anything. Okay, what did it say it would be stored in? Maybe it's not f dot form. Maybe it's something else. F dot errors. No. Huh. Let's put this in a paragraph so that way we. And I'll say and then f dot errors. Okay, so now it says but there's nothing in there. So errors is not it. How do we access that? Oh, maybe we should look at the. Well, no, hold on. The name. Full name. So f dot full name. Can I bind it like that? No, they type. No, it's not. Oh wait, it's showing up down here. So let me see if I could access that. How did I do that down there? So it's f dot value dot full name. Okay, let's try f dot value dot errors, and that should be null, but it doesn't say null. Maybe for no, it's not filling in with a problem. Okay. And actually, let me bring the let me bring that down to here. Once I get it right, we'll make it an H6. We'll say form valid. F dot valid. Is that what it? F dot value dot valid. Well, let's see. Okay, let's make it valid, and then we should see that change. Right now it's false. Let me choose a training, and it becomes true. Okay, so it does. Okay, so we are able to capture the validity like that. I wish I knew what properties were on that. Let me Google that then. Angular form properties. So we have not Angular JS, we need Angular. ng form, so that should tell us. The form group instance created for this form. Okay, here we go. We have value, we have valid, invalid, pending, disabled, enabled, validation errors. So do we have any errors? Let's so we should be able to do H6 errors and then f dot errors. And let's see if that should say null, but I guess it doesn't. But that's not really an error. It's just not valid. Maybe f.errors.value. Null is not an object. No, that's not the... that's presenting us a problem. Okay, let's go back to here. So we are first dot value. First like that. F dot value, F dot valid. F dot value should show us the entire object. But it's probably just going to say object object. Yeah, that's so annoying. How can we display the toString? Can we do that? JSON.stringify to convert it to a string. JSON.stringify. Can we do that? That'd be awesome. JSON.stringify. And then we're going to stringify the value. Let's see if we could do that. I'm not hopeful, but it would be cool if that works. Yeah, it's not going to work. Now, is that happening because... Maybe we could put it in quotes so it knows to... No, it's not going to... Did that work? No, it just literally put it in quotes. How do we run JavaScript? Is it single curly brace? No. Okay, Angular to... oh, pipe? That's how I do it? Angular pipe. Transforming data using pipes. Oh, so you're saying I could do something like f.value and then pipe it. F.value and then make this JSON? Something like that? Whoa. JSON could not be found. Maybe it's just JSON lowercase. Yes. Oh, that is awesome. That is so cool. Thank you so much. But I don't want to see the... Oh, gee, so value just has the fields. It has nothing more, nothing less. If I just show F... No, there's no F. There is no F. Let us... yeah, so f.value. Okay, so that works, but not really. So Dave, since you just joined us, it seems, what we're trying to do is we're trying to make sure that this submit form stays disabled unless the entire form is appropriately filled in or completed. Like right now, it for the most part stays disabled, but the problem is, like, you know, this is not a valid email, right? We should be. I'm working on doing like providing front end messages to the user, telling them like what is wrong with this, why is this not good. But like, look, this file number shouldn't be. I shouldn't be able to submit a 3-digit file number, and I'm catching it on the server side. But I got to do all that stuff on the front end because I got to prevent someone from. The whole point of doing this is to prevent someone from submitting a form that is not appropriate. And when I say appropriate, I mean like a form that's not valid. Like we keep getting errors So I'm trying to minimize those errors by making it preventable, making it so that they cannot mess up. But right now on the front end, we're not catching those errors. Use reactive forms custom validator. Oh, I know you say that, but I've spent all this time making these template-driven forms. I kind of just want to just keep it here. But I guess maybe we could do that because we have so many hours we have to do. Maybe. I don't know. I want to see if I can get it working with template-driven forms. And if not, if all else fails, maybe in an hour or two, I will switch over to, I'll remake this with reactive forms and do the validators thing and, detect all that stuff. There's got to be a way to do it with template-driven forms, though. There's no way that there isn't. Just got to figure out how to do that. Okay. First dot valid. Maybe, okay, so maybe I could add a template. What's this called? A template variable or something? Template reference, right? Template variable references. Yes. A local template variable. Okay, so maybe I could do that. Maybe I can do here, instead of doing min length equals 5, actually maybe I can. So let's create that local template variable. Let's call it, this one we'll call file num. Set that equal to ng model. No, wait. ng form. Wait, what can I set it equal to? What is going on? What did I? Oh. You can do it with template-driven forms. You would need to detect any form value changes and manually run a validator function that sets a valid variable as true or false. Can I see the value? Hold on. Let me. That's a good idea, Dave. Can I see the valid? Do each one of these have a valid property on them or something? So valid question mark. And then can I do something like f.value.fullname.valid? Does that exist? So like right now it would be no, I guess there isn't. Maybe it's not like that. Maybe that's not what it's named. F.value, or maybe I have to capture the template variable. I have to give it a template variable, local template variable reference thing, whatever. No, it's just a string. Okay, so I can't do that. How's the internet down there, by the way? Maybe try outputting F without the JSON pipe. Let's just see if we'll call this Mr. F. Object. Won't work. JSON. With the JSON, we cannot serialize cyclic structures. Just great. All right, that's all right. I was looking at the internet service provider over there. There was one called like AeroNet or something, and they charge like a ridiculous amount for internet, for like slow internet. So I don't know what you're doing down there, Dave. Unless you're watching me at like 240p or something. All right, let's look at the live example. There's got to be maybe that one has something that we could use or we could see. I usually use reactive for big forms, template-driven forms for forms with 1 or 2 fields. Oh, all right. So maybe this calls for the reactive forms, but I don't want to give up just yet. I still have like a lot of hours I have to do. So we're going to keep trying this one for now. I haven't reached my limits yet. Oh, maybe it's like this. Yes, I need to do this, Dave. Wait, hold on. Wait. Whoa. Maybe I got to do something like that. So I got to give it a template-driven, template variable reference thingamajig. Let's see if that works. Did I make one? Here, file num ng model. So now let's display file num dot valid. Let's see if it's valid. And that is on the file number. So I made the min length 5. So let's do file num thing. So file num dot valid. So either true or false. Let's see. I'll do a speed test later. Wait, what are you on? Your phone right now? You're a sicko, Dave, if you're on your phone right now. Okay. File num thing false. So file number, I set it. I made sure that it says min length equals 5. So it should stay false until there's a min length of 5. Let's see, moment of truth. Darn it. I typed in a 5, well, min length of 5. That means 5 digits. Wait, what if I type in A? Yeah, okay, A is false because it's expecting a number because I made it of type number. But if I type in 1, it says true. And it should say false. It should remain false. Because I do have that. Hold on. All right, so this min length thing is not working. It's just not the right thing, probably. I wonder if it's because of the order. I don't think it's because of the order. But at least I could access its valid property. All right, let's look back over here. Name.valid or name.pristine. So we could access its validity like that. It's valid thing like that. Required. Which one of these requires like a length? Length? Nothing with length. So let's close out of it. Okay, Angular template driven form validation. Let's open up the free code camp one. This one. We'll go with that. Let's look at that for now. All right. This is a quick example of how to set up form validation in Angular 7 using template-driven forms. The example is a simple registration form with pretty standard fields for names, first name, last name, email, password, and confirm password. Maybe if I was doing like a Twitter clone and like calling it mittens, then a template-driven form would be more appropriate, right, Dave? All fields are required. The email field must be a valid email, and the password field must have a min length of 6. This is what I want. This sounds like a good. This sounds like it's going to be the answer to my my questions over here. Why is my thing going across? Okay, there we go. All right, we're good. Mittens was for anyone watching. Mittens was a project, a Twitter clone that Dave made. I learned a lot from that tutorial you made, by the way, Dave. Believe it or not, but you better believe it. There's also a custom validator and directive called must-watch, which is used to validate and confirm passwords and to confirm password and password fields match. I've set up the form to validate on submit rather than as soon as each field is changed. This is implemented using the f.submitted property of the ng form template variable. So that's not what I want. I want it to, actually no, is that what I want? Maybe when it's not pristine. So when someone like touches a field but it's not perfect, then it catches it. That's when I should check. Maybe, we'll see. Or maybe we'll do it on submit like this guy. We'll see what we can take from this response or tutorial thing. The app component doesn't need to do much since the form fields and validators are defined in the template when using Angular template-driven forms. The component defines a model object which is bound to the form fields in the template in order to give you access to the data entered into the form. Wait, did I take notes on this? Hold on. Let me take out my notebook because I feel like I may have taken notes on forms. We got our trusty handy dandy notebook here. Okay, no. Let's see. To get access, so this is something I wrote. Let's see. To get access to the control created by Angular is by adding a local reference to element and setting it equal to ng model. Okay, so I just did that. So that's good. Then you could add ng if not email valid or whatever valid and touched. Okay, so let's try doing that actually. All right, hold on. This is going to help us out a little bit, I think, in catching that there's an error. So let us get Bootstrap. We are going to add one of these. What is this called? An alert? And we'll do this one, the danger alert, because we like to live dangerously over here. And we will put that right underneath the file number. And we'll do this only if ng if file num is not valid. So not valid, and it's been touched. File num dot touched. I think that'll work. So when we start this, file num is false, so it's not valid. And if we touch it and pull away, there we go. We see the alert. Now, why is it all messed up like this? Let's look at our formatting. But now, if we make it valid, then that's good. But if it's been touched and if it's invalid, it'll say this alert. But let me make this alert actually better. Div. Okay, so we need to put this on a div, basically, that spans across the entire thing. Div col small 12. And let's put this, let's change the alert. Let's say, come on, bro. Type in a valid file num. Okay, so if we touch the file number and pull away, come on, bro, type in a valid file num. So that looks, I don't know if that looks good, but it's going to help us out, I think, a little bit. Okay, if I type in letters, it's definitely wrong, so it could detect that, but it doesn't know how many numbers I should put in. So we should say, type in a file num number with 6 or 7 digits, bro. So how about this? Come on, or type in we don't need the come on there. We could remove that. We'll go with type in a file number with 6 or 7 digits, bro. To which the user would say, I'm not your bro. Okay. All right, that should not go away. It should not go away until there's 6 or 7 digits. All right, so let's figure out how to do that. Let me look at my notes again. Nope, I have nothing else here that's of any help. Directives for TD approach. Okay, validation required email? No. Maybe there's an HTML5 way of doing that, but I thought that was min length. Let me see if I could do that. HTML5 valid length. Is there a min length validation attribute in HTML5? You could use the pattern attribute. The required attribute is also needed. Otherwise, an input field with an empty value. See, but this is not using Angular, even if this does work. Maybe. We could try. So this will make it 5 through 10 digits. So let me add this to, and make it 6 through 7. Save. Let's look back at our form. File number, we touch it, pull away. It's not valid. Let's type in 4. Good. 4444444. One more, it should go away. There we go. So that works. Dave, I thought it should, but maybe it doesn't. This works. This will do. One, two, 3. It's really weird when you put leading zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe when you put leading zeros, it I think it doesn't. It's supposed to work, Dave. I keep seeing the min length, but yeah, I know you would just say, well, it works now. Keep going. I'll read up a little bit more on it and see if I could find why. I don't know why min length doesn't work, even though it looks like it should. But it's possible that it's because I added this this attribute, this directive, or whatever you want to call this, ng native validate. Maybe that's why min length doesn't work. See, there is a min length property in the HTML5 spec now, as well as a validity.toShort interface. Pattern works, right? Let me type in Angular min length not working. Error key is min length and not min length. But I did that right. Let's try, we'll try one more time. Move that pattern. We'll do min length and set it equal to 5. Oh, I already have min length there. All right, let me save. It should work now, right? So file number. See, it should all right, it should go away if I add a see, it goes away immediately when I type in one digit, like a one-digit number, and it should not. File number thing is true. It's already valid. See? This should say false based on that min length thing. So I don't know why that doesn't work. Let me just put that pattern thing and we'll go with this. So now it'll stay false. Let me refresh. It'll stay false. Now it's true. It needs 6 or 7 digits. But let me see how that leading zero works. It ignores the leading zero. But what if I have a lot of leading zeros? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, it just ignores all the leading zeros. Okay. We'll take it. We'll go with this. And I needed the file num template reference variable thing because I needed to be able to display the error in case someone did not have, like, you know, someone has a 2-digit number and then pulls away. You got to make it 6 or 7 digits, bro. You can't add too much. All right. So I'm happy with that. What's next? Email address. Make sure it's a valid email address. Angular HTML5 email validation. Method that validates whether an email address is valid. I mean, will this return false? Hold on, let me, so down here, let's do email thing, email validity thing. So can I do a file num? Can I do email? Now, do I have am I able to access it? I think I have to do that thing again. So hashtag email equals ng model. Let me do the this alert thing again, just like that. If email's not valid and touched. So when I refresh, if I touch the email and it's not valid, oh, well, hold on. That's not the right error message. I'm going to say, type in a valid email, bro. So we touch email, pull away, type in a valid email. But if I type in A and pull away, it thinks it's valid, but it's not. Why is that? Okay, so how do we test that? Do we do email? How does that validate it, though? Returns validation errors. Validates method that validates whether an email address is valid. Returns the validation result if enabled. There must. Let me find an HTML5 way. Oh, maybe I can use this pattern. That'll save me the trouble. Let's see if that works. Okay, so now if I type in A and I pull away, type in a valid email. a@a.com. A at A is not valid. A.net. A@a.com. What if I do A@a.asdf? That's not valid. So maybe it knows what it needs to be. Okay, let's see this pattern. Be careful, this is not a valid email pattern. Okay. I mean, it's working for me, but it might not be the right pattern. Email ng model. Is it just the email tag? Email.invalid. Or we could use this pattern thing again. For Angular 8 versions, there's a built-in email validator available. Oh, but this is the reactive again. Reactive form. What time is it? 11 o'clock. We still have plenty of time. I mean, maybe we'll just leave that pattern for now, knowing that it might not be the best way of doing things. Email validation. Yeah, once again, this is the that is the reactive form way of doing things. I mean, let's just copy this pattern and assume that it's right. Copy that email pattern. The only difference is it's 2,3 and then this one was 2,4. So maybe it doesn't. You can't have a domain that ends in like 4 digits or something. I don't know. Whatever. We'll go with this. Okay, so just to make sure it works, a at as.com is valid, but .c is invalid. .co is not valid. CA? I thought CA would be valid. Maybe Canada? Or maybe it's like .edu? Why isn't edu being detected as valid? Never question it, just Command C and Command V. Just copy, paste. Why is this email not valid? A at a.edu. That does not seem right. Maybe ASDF at asdf.com. That's acceptable. But .edu, maybe it wasn't letting us do, what did I have before? as.com. So maybe you can't do like a single letter at two digits or two characters dot whatever. I don't know. That's what this means. At something dot something. So what does this mean in regex as a regular expression? A through Z, 0 through 9. Dot minus. I have no idea what the dot minus means, nor what the bracket means. I mean, I think the bracket is the structure of this thing. Let me see if I can find it. What does this mean? A through Z matches any lowercase letter. 0 through 9 matches any digit. Then it matches any lowercase. Oh, maybe it's because it was all capitals. What if I do all lowercase? A at as.edu. Ooh. Maybe that's why. This guy was very picky. I mean, why am I here reading about regex? Who cares? Let me type in regex email validation. That works 99.99% of the time. That is a great success rate. So every 1,000 people that do this, well, probably even more. It's not like they're gonna randomly do this. Okay, so let's why isn't it opening? Oh no, did my internet go down? No. We're still live. I'm terrified right now. Maybe that website just doesn't work. Okay, there we go. All right. Thought for a second my internet went down. Was freaking out. It looks like we're okay. What is this? All right, I don't care enough. I'm just going to leave it as is. I mean, some of these regular expressions are just absolutely nuts. Like, who's going to type that in? Who's going to use that in their code? Not I, said the fly. We'll just leave it at this. You know, if someone's not, if they're not getting through with whatever they're typing in. Okay. Good. All right. So full name, I don't care what they put in for a name. Their email address has to be valid. File number has to be 6 or 7 digits. School they have to choose. I mean, there's no other way. They have to. So is there any way that they could hit submit form without it being valid? Let me hit submit and just see that it goes through. So I submitted it. I'm going to click get forms. And there it is. ads went through with the file number and the selected program. Cool. Cool. So that works. I think our validation is okay. It's acceptable. I mean, it's very, very aggressive. Like it just instantly pops up on the screen. It's like, type in a valid email, bro. Type in a file number. What? Wait, whoa. Why isn't the school? Oh, wait, let me reload this. It should say choose your school. Why was it empty before? Ooh, file number. Yeah, if they type in A, yeah, type in a file number of 6 or 7 numerical digits, numbers. Hold on, let me plug this in. Need to plug in my phone over here. We're about to die. Okay. Choose your school. Choose wisely. Choose the training you attended. And they can't submit. Nothing can be submitted. So let's I'm trying to think. Let's give the person a pop-up, like an alert that pops up if everything goes through well, or even if it doesn't. So that's going to be an alert that we're going to pop up on the user. Can we do that in our... All right, let me close some of these. Let me close all these tabs. Not all of them, some of them. Alerts. We'll leave alerts for now just because I'm going to look at some stuff. Whatever, we'll close that out. How to validate Angular template-driven forms. Oh yeah, look at this example. Maybe I should do the name one also. A name is required. Yeah, oh yeah, of course. I need to make sure I do a name is required. Okay, full name. So let's get that. full name. We'll do a local reference name, set it equal to ng model. We're gonna bring this error message up there. We're gonna say for name it has to be valid and name has to be touched. What's your name? Right? So if they touch full name and don't type something in, there we go. We have some alerts. And then I could probably do some like regex expression to make sure that it's all text. Can I put a number? Yeah, they could put a number right now. But this is supposed to be text. Full name. Let me look at the code. I guess input type text doesn't. It's just any string or anything. It doesn't check to make sure that it's just text. Name, full name, name. All right. Whatever. Okay, so that is and, I mean, to be consistent, we should say, what's your name, bro? All right, so how do we get a message from the back end, from the server, telling us that everything went through swimmingly? All right, so let's look at our... Close that. Let me close the validating input, close min length because that did not work for some reason. We'll leave our dashboard and our other things for inspiration. Let's go back to the... all right, what did I just say I was going to do? Okay, let's get a message on the front end. That's what I said. So here, when we submit the form, on submit, when we get a response, no, but we're always going to get a response, right? Even if we get an error, don't we get no, we don't get a response if we get an error. So what we can do is we can do maybe alert. Great job. The form was submitted. Let's see if that works. Submit form. Great job, the form was submitted. Okay. So now I want to, how can I submit a form that isn't if we get an error? So I'm trying to think of how could I send something that's not valid? How do I outsmart my validators here? Okay, let me try a name with numbers. Let me look in my server. How am I actually what am I validating here? Validate value. I'm validating the email already in the server. What could someone screw up? The type is a string, but yeah, a name could have numbers, and it still would be true. Still would be valid. Full name required. File number. Type number. All right, you know what I'm going to have to do? I'm going to have to disable my disable button thing. I'm gonna have to disable the disable. Because I want to test out the server not getting a not being able to create something correctly. So how am I going to display that on the front end for the user? How am I going to tell the user that that we've encountered a problem and that things are not looking good? All right, let's think. 32, 36. Okay. We're at 35 hours, 10 minutes. So I want to go at least until 36 hours today. Yes, at least until 36. So as long as the internet doesn't go down, you know, as long as I'm still standing here, we are going to keep pushing. We're going to keep trucking through this. All right, so let us disable the disabled button thing. Where is it? Right here. Line 156. Okay. I can't comment it out like that. I'm just going to have to delete it. Hit save. Okay. So now I should be able to submit anything. Now I could just, I could hit submit form and I should get an error back. But how am I going to show that on the front end? So the reason I'm doing this is just in case someone was to, somehow disable the disabled button or push through or type something that the server is going to be like, no, that should not, that's not acceptable. I want to see how I'm going to get that to, what I'm going to do to make the front end know or show that we've encountered an error. So if we hit submit form, I should be able to submit it and the server should send back an error. But it does not. It doesn't send anything back. If I look at the server, that's weird. Okay, so let's try, maybe it didn't even send something. Let me try putting stuff in here. Let me try a non-email email. Let me put everything else is valid. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's just the email that's not appropriate right now. So I'm going to hit submit. The email is it's false. It's not valid, but I'm going to send it anyway because there's nothing preventing it from being sent. But when it hits the server should be like, whoa, that's a problem. So I'm going to pull the server over here to the side. I'm going to hit submit. Let me shrink this a little bit. And our server should say that something went wrong, but the user might not have any idea. So that's what I'm trying to catch. So this is the, why am I not able to grab this window? Okay, there we go. All right, so let's submit the form. Oh, wow, it's not letting me. Please enter an email address. You know what? Maybe it's because it says please or enter an email. I think this is like HTML5's default thing because it's required or because it knows it's an email. Oh no. So let me go back to my code. Let's change it from email to from type email to text. So that way it doesn't prevent us from submitting. I hope. All right, so let's try again. We're going to do a full name. Email, we're just going to put ASDF. It's still being caught as invalid, but we'll see if we can submit. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. All right, let's see. Submit form. Moment of truth here. Match the requested format. Oh, you know what? It's probably because of the pattern. Is that why? Yeah, must be. All right, now we're like really messing up our code here. Let me try again. let us open up the terminal just so we could see it. There it is. Okay, so we get this 500 error back from the server. Our server, I mean, is just like, whoa, this is messed up. Form validation failed. Let me fix my code before I like really forget what I did here. Email, pattern, and let me re-enable the disabled thing. Okay. So we want to make sure that the front end, if it does not receive like a okay message, how do we capture an error? So we hit submit, pass the submission, res data. Oh, you know what? I guess if we do, maybe res data is an object or something. So we could do something like, you know, if res data, I don't know what res data's properties are. So, oh shoot. When it refreshed, I lost what that error looked like. All right, oh my goodness. Let's console.log. We're going to do a few console.logs. Type of res data. And then we'll put a conditional. So if like res data.error or whatever it says comes in, then we know that something went wrong and we'll give the right appropriate alert. Let's try that. So now I have to break it again. We have to go back to our HTML. And I think I can, okay, so we have to remove the disabled. We have to remove the pattern, and we have to remove the type we changed to email, to text from email. Hit save. All right, so now everything's broken. Let's type in a full name like that, file number. Everything else has to be valid, I believe. Hit submit form. Okay, there we go. So we get an error response. HTTP error response. I mean, is that its type? Is that why it's saying that? Error null. Wait, no, that's not the message. Maybe I could display the message. HTTP error response dot name. Server responded with a status of 500. Failed to load. All right, so can I detect that in the component? So here, console.log res data. Can I see the type of res data? It's probably just going to say object. Error. No. Okay, can I do res data dot res data dot HTTP error response. Let's see if we can, or dot, I don't know, name. Let's see if we could actually see that. I'm going to try one. Wait, we're getting errors. Does not exist on type object. All right, so it doesn't know what the type of res data is. HTTP error response is the type. So we could say that post, well, it's possible when everything goes well, though, it sends us back JSON, right? And that's in the server. So that is right here when we post message. Okay, so maybe we can, you know what? We can I mean, it sends back the 500, but let us send a message that says it's failed. All right, let's do that. So we can send it an error. That's what we'll do. Something went wrong, bro. We'll send back that error to the user. We don't need to console.log. Actually, we'll leave that. That's fine. Failed to compile. So let's go back to our HTML our component here. Hit save. Res.data. So now we should get a response. If it's not, I mean, if nothing's good, it should be an error. That should be the field in the object. It should be called error, and it should say something went wrong, bro. So there we go. Something we should not get an appropriate. Oh, for email. Let me make this sure it's not an email. So let me submit form. And we get, no, we don't get the error. Is that because I need to restart my server? You know what? Maybe when I send status code of 500, it just like, that's it. Yeah, maybe on 500, it's game over. Let me try using Postman if I could, if I can catch that. So that's on a submit. If I don't send anything, we get an error. But we didn't get JSON. Wait. No, that was a get. Sorry, we messed that up. We got to make this a post. Submit with no key value pairs. This should give us an error. Something went wrong, bro. Okay, so it did. So that is the response that the server is spitting back, but I don't. Then I guess on the front end, I'm not showing that response. On the front end over here, sorry, in the components. When we on submit, when we post, subscribe response data. Yeah, I guess, well, I guess this is our, oh, no, we see it. I do see it. We have an error here. It's right here. So response data. So maybe we could do response data dot, I don't know, error. Would that work? Error dot error. Okay, so maybe we have too many errors here. But let's see if this works. No, not console.error. Response data.error.error. Error does not exist on type object. Let me just try .error. No, I can't. I think it's because it doesn't know what the type of this thing is. What's the type of res data? Can I just do... I think it's just going to say object, but let me try type of res data. And let me submit something not acceptable. Submit form. No, it doesn't even say, it doesn't say what the type is. But this error object thing has an error property. HTTP error response. Can I see in the network what that looks like on submit? Yeah, that's the server responded with the status of. I mean, maybe I shouldn't send a 500 error. I kind of have to though. You know what? Forget it. Why am I trying to prevent all these edge cases? Let's just be happy that that was sent. Let's fix this again. Email put the disabled form there. So now, if someone doesn't type in a valid name, it says, what's your name? If they don't type in a valid email, they have to. .com. Their file number, if it doesn't have 6 or 7 digits, it makes them type it in. They choose a school, choose a program, choose a training, and they must submit the form. Let me remove, and I can remove all this down here. So let me just make the full name, I don't know, Eric Cartman. I'm going to hit, why does it say cartoon? Okay, I'm going to hit submit form. Great job, the form was submitted. I guess, yeah. I feel like it's going to say great job, the form was submitted, even if it didn't go through well. Is it? Wait, where do I have the great job, the form is submitted? That is on the components. Here we go. Yeah, I think it's going to say great job, the form was submitted no matter what. Not 100% sure. All right, let's just, we'll leave it for now. We'll leave that. We're just going to assume that this is all good. All right, so we're getting somewhere. Once all that's been submitted, we can click Get Forms, and then we can see everything that's been submitted into the database. So we see Eric Cartman at the bottom with an email address, file number, and units. How would this actually be saved in a database? If a person could attend multiple trainings or does attend multiple trainings throughout the year, wouldn't I just want to have person objects with an array inside of them of every single training that they went to? So that'd probably be a better way to structure this database, or the way that I'm storing the data. But for now, we're gonna accept what we've gotten so far. We're content with what we have. We're able to get information from the database, send it to the front end. We're able to send stuff to the back end to the database. We're able to save or submit forms. So we're getting there. I want to remove all of this stuff. I don't really need it. So I'm just going to comment it out in case that changes. And because I have a comment inside of a comment in HTML, that'll cause an error. So I'm just going to remove that comment. Hit save. And now this is what our form looks like. So it's a little bit cleaner. Get forms. We could see. A person actually using this form would not get forms, but you can see how fast it's getting it too. If I refresh the page and I hit get forms, it's happening in less than 3 milliseconds. So 0.003 of a second. It's hitting the database. It's really fast because, I have the database running on my computer locally. So that is why it's going so fast. You can see how fast this thing's loading too, the network stuff. Our server is very fast. It's a really fast server when the person requesting, when the client is on the same exact server, on the same computer. Okay, so let me close out of the console. We've gotten this far. I guess let's try to find some inspiration somewhere else and see what else we can add to this thing, or what else we're going to work on for the rest of tonight, because I do want to stream for at least another 31 minutes. So we want to get to 36 hours, and that way we have just 6 days left of 4 hours each. So at 36 hours, we are 24 hours away. 1 full day away. Geez, when you think about it, after today, I'm going to have to stream for an entire day out of the next 6 days. That is insane when you think about it. An entire day will be spent coding or working on stuff. I'm probably going to, maybe I'll make I'll put like tabs over here and make it so that we could see like the admin page. So let me see if we can get inspired for the admin page over here first. All right, we have this checkout form. It's a really nice look, very clean, nice looking form here. Continue to check out. And I think this is just checking the submission when you try to continue to check out. That's when it tells you everything's wrong. Ooh, and I really like that. I like the, I don't like that someone could get all the way down there to the bottom with like everything empty and then it tells you. But like, I think if you click on a text field, that's when you should be getting told. And actually, wait a second. These are rounded edges and mine doesn't. Does it? No, something's wrong. Maybe my bootstrap formatting is not. Yeah, these are rectangular edges, whereas the bootstrap ones should be rounded. Okay, let's inspect the element and see what the class is on some of these things. Down here, let me see the class for this specific thing. Input type, class is form control. Class is input form control. Okay, let us look at ours. What am I using here? So for example, for the full name, the class is form control plain text. What if I put form control and then I put form control plain text? So let me save that. See what that looks. There we go. That looks rounded now. Okay, so that is correct. So the issue is that I was just using form control plain text, but it really does need form control first to give it those rounded edges. So let us add that to all of our inputs. What's next? Form control. This one should look good. All right, let me refresh. That's rounded. That's rounded. And it has the bootstrap, like you can see that it's kind of like highlighted. So like in the beginning, if I click on this, you see that it has like that blue border. Whereas before, I don't know if it was there. I can't remember. That's rounded. That's .com. School. That. All right, and now you can submit the form. Let's give it another name. We'll do the Marty McFly. Just hit submit form. Great job, the form was submitted. Get my forms. There at the bottom. There's Marty McCoy. I typed in McFly. Maybe it got auto-corrected to McCoy. Although Marty McFly is a lot cooler. Okay. All right. So I said we were going to look at some other things for inspiration. So let's see. I actually really don't like how tall our columns are on this thing. It's a huge form. It's a huge looking form. And that might be caused by like the way I did this, the way I did it. So maybe full name is causing that. Where's the full name? Maybe the labels are huge or something. Maybe that's why. Class small 3. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why. It's not a big deal right now. Although it would be nice if they were a little bit smaller. Like the checkout example. I really like the height of these columns. And I actually like this kind of notification versus mine. This is less aggressive, I would say. Even though there's a lot of red there, mine is just like a pop-up, like the alert window comes up in an instant, moves everything down. It's it could be very jarring. whereas this is maybe a little less so. All right, promo codes. We don't need any promo codes in our submission form. Okay, let me. I think that's it for the checkout form. We don't really need much else. Okay, so this is our dashboard. So we might choose to make a dashboard that looks kind of like this for the administrator that's going through the database and seeing what, which forms were submitted. And maybe a way to keep track of when they actually process the forms. Because the way that it works at my job is that, people submit the forms, but then someone has to process them. But someone's got to keep track of that. So why not use the same submission form system to keep track of, the user doesn't see that. They don't have to see that. Although maybe they should have accounts so that they could see which trainings they've been to. And if they, but then you got to worry about user accounts and people forget passwords and all that stuff. And that's quite a risk. All right, let me think. Let me think out loud, because what else can I do? So if we have and the annoying thing with user accounts, though, is that if you send an email to someone and say, hey, you attended our training, please log in, please create an account, log in, and submit your payment form. That is, it's a lot of steps. Versus just sending them a link and saying, here, go here and do it. But it would be nice for them to have accounts so they could we could keep track of all of the trainings that they've attended. Although maybe they don't need to see that. Actually, they do need to see that. So they know they've gotten paid and they know they've, oh my goodness. Let me think. I mean, that's for version 2. Version 1, we're just trying to get this form submitted and maybe displayed for the administrator with maybe another, a little drop-down thing where the administrator can check off once they've processed that specific training's payments or something. Let me actually Google. So now that we've got that, let's see if maybe I'll try looking at whether or not it's possible to create a PDF, or how we would go about creating a PDF from a form submission. So maybe I could do node create PDF from HTML. If it's from HTML, then we have to structure our page to look like the actual form that's going to be submitted. Maybe behind the scenes we could do that. Let's see how we could do that from HTML. Node HTML PDF, NPM. All right, 83,000 weekly downloads. Cool. So that's a lot of people that are using this. Code example. So this just creates a PDF from the HTML. Actually, it might be cool to see if this would work on our current project. I mean, the HTML, wow. I wonder how that would look, because our HTML is using Angular. So I wonder if, Angular gets converted to let me restart. Angular, when I save, it's compiling all of that TypeScript, because that's not even JavaScript. Well, some of it is JavaScript, but it's compiling the TypeScript into JavaScript, and it's turning the Angular stuff into just regular HTML when it spits it out. So we might be able to use something like this and actually see our page that looks like this, our form, and see it as a PDF. Wouldn't that be cool? Let's maybe we'll try it. Maybe we'll see what happens, and we'll go from there. I'm going to see if there's any others. Here's Puppeteer. That first one I clicked, that package is from 2017. How do I generate PDF in Node.js? converting HTML template to PDF. So what I'm saying is that if this works, then I would just have to create an HTML page that looks exactly how I want it. And behind the scenes, it would take all those things that are filled in, put it in that HTML page that looks the way I want it, that's styled the way I want it, and create a PDF from it. And the page, I mean, it looks like it probably wouldn't be too bad to do. Just a bunch of HTML and CSS stuff to get the styling right, to get the widths and all that stuff right. Be interesting. I mean, that might be what we end up working on, or might be what we end up doing, but I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Yeah, generate a PDF invoice for a customer, save it on the server, as well as email them. Yeah, and we could email the person with the PDF, and we could use something like SendGrid. I think SendGrid is a website that allows us to send emails programmatically like this. So we could just attach a PDF to this email, boom, and then they get it. All right. How is this possible? It was a pickle for me till I came to know Puppeteer. Puppeteer is a node library. So let's see which one's more popular, Puppeteer or the HTML PDF one. Let's do npm Puppeteer. Wow, this one has 1.5 million downloads. So this is much more popular. Generate screenshots and PDFs of pages, crawl a single page application and generate a pre-rendered content, server-side rendering. Give it a spin. Let's see what the website looks like. Okay, so this is the example page. And then it'll create a screenshot. Let me run it. And the result is this. Is this a image? This is an image. Whoa. So that's taking this HTML, which is just, as simple as this. Can I change it? No. And creating this picture from it. Oh, but I don't want a screenshot. I want a PDF. Can I do that? Let me search PDF. Create a PDF. We could do that. Looks like it. Now, how's Puppeteer working? Is it working on do I have to send something to them, or is it all on the person running it? When you install Puppeteer, it downloads a recent version of Chromium that is guaranteed to work with the API. To skip the download or use a different browser, see environment variables. Yeah, I would probably use Puppeteer Core so I don't download another, so I don't do another huge download either. Lightweight version for launching existing browsers. Connecting to a remote one. Be sure that the version of Puppeteer Core you install is compatible with the browser. So we'll probably use the Puppeteer Core. It uses async await, so we got all that. Puppeteer.launch browser.new page. All right, if this works, that would be sick. And if it's this easy to get it to work. Let's see. Yeah, I don't want to download a 150 megabyte package and risk my stream going down when I'm 17 minutes away from my goal for today. So I'm not going to risk it. Maybe I'll do the Puppeteer Core one and see if that works. Wait, HTML. Oh, okay. Yeah, this one's using the HTML PDF one that I saw. How big is this one? Oh, last published 3 years ago? Yeah, this is probably outdated. Even if it works, I'd rather use something that's more recently updated, like Puppeteer a month ago. So we would take that over 3 years. 3 years in like coding time is like a million years in regular. Well, maybe not a million, but yeah. And here's another article on Puppeteer. It's possible to generate a PDF file both on the client and on the server side. However, it probably makes more sense to let the backend handle it, as you don't want to use up all the resources the user's browser can offer. Yep. So we'll put it on the backend in our server. HTML to canvas. I mean, if we have to use the regular Puppeteer, then I will, I'll download it off the stream. But it would be nice if the core one works, Puppeteer core. That has 343,000 downloads over the course of the week. Let me see the difference. Puppeteer is a product for browser automation. When installed, it downloads a version of Chromium, which it then drives using Puppeteer Core. Being an end-user product, Puppeteer supports a bunch of convenient, whatever environmental variables to tweak its behavior. Puppeteer Core is the library to help drive anything that supports DevTools protocol. Puppeteer Core doesn't download Chromium when installed. Being a library, Puppeteer Core is fully driven through its programmatic interface and disregards all the environmental variables. In most cases, you'll be fine using the Puppeteer package. However, you should use Puppeteer Core if you're building another end-user product or library atop DevTools protocol. For example, one might build a PDF generator using Puppeteer Core and write a custom install script that downloads headless shell instead of Chromium to save disk space. You're bundling Puppeteer to use in Chrome extension browser with the DevTools protocol where downloading an additional Chromium binary is unnecessary. You're building a set of tools where Puppeteer Core is one of the ingredients, and you want to postpone install.js script execution until Chromium is about to be used. All right, I think I should install the full thing, so I'm not going to do it on stream because it's going to, I would risk destroying the stream. Because for those that maybe are watching this right now, I've been having issues with my internet. And even right now, I'm looking at my thing. I'm looking and it says that I've dropped 1,200 frames. So my internet has not been great here in my apartment. This apartment does not have good internet. Let me see if I can find another Puppeteer PDF from HTML. Puppeteer-PDF. Oh no, that's just the folder that they made. It's still just using Puppeteer, that library. This means that you can tell Chrome via JavaScript to open a new tab, navigate to a URL, fill a form. This article will use Puppeteer to render an HTML file and create a PDF out of it. All right, so this might be, I think this is going to be what we're going to try to do tomorrow. We're going to try to get, hold on one second. There's a bug over here. It's a bug on the lights. All right. So I think tomorrow we're going to work on Puppeteer and getting our HTML page to basically create a PDF. Or we're going to turn our HTML page into a PDF, and then we'll figure out what we do from there. But that'll be useful because when I started this project, I said that I wanted all of this to be on to eventually, I mean, it could be on a PDF. That would be great, so that we could email the person their own form. We could structure the PDF however we want by, writing the HTML and CSS or whatever in such a way that, makes it the way that we want to look. But when the person submits it, they just see what they need to see. They don't need to see what the final product is going to look like. Okay, so that's good. Generate a PDF from HTML with Puppeteer. All right, so this is another example. So these are a bunch of different ways to do the same thing, or a bunch of different tutorials, or whatever. A bunch of different ways to create a PDF using Puppeteer. Okay, let me. So that was one thing. I talked about the dashboard, how someone could click on these things for the administrator. Is there any other things that I want to talk about today, or anything other thing that might inspire us? Cover page, no. Blog, no. This is nothing like that. So I don't think any of these things would help. We could add a nav bar, but we don't really need one right now. It's just a form. I mean, we're just trying to get people to submit. We could have a sign-in page, just like I mentioned a few minutes ago. It might be nice to let people. Maybe we just okay. So maybe I could have the form. I could create the form that people could share out. So anyone could share out the form, and then if someone chooses to ever see all of they want to create an account to see every training they've ever been to, then we could have them create an account. But they don't have to create an account. They could just use the form, submit it, and never look at it again, never think about it again. Or on that page, on the form submission page, we could ask them if you'd like to see all the trainings you've been to, or maybe no account. I could just, I could verify that that's them just using their maybe email address and their file number. Because teachers, I don't think, share their file numbers. Or maybe what I could do is, how down here we have the get forms and it grabs the server? So what we could do, actually, this would be really interesting. When someone submits a form, a button could come up, or the button could be there saying, see all of the trainings you've attended. And then it hits the server and searches through the database for anyone that has that for any entry that has that file number. And then that gets displayed to the user. Because if they just submitted a form, that could work, and no accounts required. I would just assume that, if they have the right email, they have the right file number, that it's that's good. That's enough for me to verify that that's the person that should be able to see that. Okay. That's actually not a bad idea. I kind of like that idea. All right. So it is coming together. Since we have some time, we have 6 or 7 minutes. Why don't we throw in a nav bar up top? Might as well. So that I'm actually excited about that. I do not have to. I kind of like this layout. Not that I need it for this, but this is more for like a news site. Something like this. All right, so let's go back to Bootstrap. Let's go to our documentation. We'll type in navbar. And let's find that dark navbar. So these are light. Where is the dark one? Here we go. But there's nothing in there. All right, is there a better example? No, I don't want it collapsed. All right, we'll start with that. Let's start with the light one, and then we'll just change the we'll just add navbar dark bg dark to the class. So let's just get one that looks right. I mean, that looks right? How about one with this, with the brand? Nah, forget that. Let's just do we'll do this. We're gonna copy paste this one at the top of our page. Would that go? That probably goes in the container, right? All right. Let me see the example. Bootstrap examples. Is that the right navbar? Let's see this one. Okay, this is a decent navbar. Let's inspect the elements. Let's see if they have the navbar inside of the container. Here's the container. No, they do not. Container is all the way up here by itself. All right, so outside of the container, right? That's the navbar? Yeah, no, the navbar is outside of the container. It's in something else. Okay, so let's do that. Let's go above the container. Hit paste. So there is our navbar. Let's see what that looks like. And it's there. And I mean, I don't really need this collapse thing because this, I mean, we're not going to have that much stuff on the navbar. It's just going to be like the submit the form. So I don't need, I'm going to take out the stuff to collapse it into a thing. Oh yeah, let me make this dark. Navbar dark bg dark. There, hit save. And there it is. There's our navbar. Why am I showing the hamburger button here? I don't want to see that. Oh, here it is in this span. There it is. It's, oh, whoa, it's still there. This because we have this whole button, but we don't need the button. Let me hit save. And there we go. We have our navbar. So we're going to call this the, this navbar, we're going to call the get paid submission form. It's a really long name. But there we go. That's our submission form with the navbar. Oh, look at that. We could put a little bit of padding up here. On which element here? Can I just grab one of them? Or maybe on the navbar, I'll give it like a bottom padding or something. So navbar. So I'm just going to put that, because it's just one little thing. I don't really want to like, whatever. We'll put it in the styles. App component. So the navbar will have a bottom padding. Is this how we do it? Or padding bottom, I think it would be. Padding bottom of, let's give it 10 pixels. So now, no, that didn't work. Maybe it's not padding. Maybe, okay, so let me see the box model here. So let me inspect the element. How do I see the box in with, what's this called? Safari. I know how to do it with Chrome. How do you do Safari? So let's type in a Safari developer tools box model or box. How do we see the box? Styles, computer in the styles on the drawer. Where are styles? I don't see that. Maybe it's one of these buttons. Show rulers, force media print, force light, show compositing borders, enable. No. show sources. No, it's not it. Where are styles? Graphics? No. Wait, maybe? No. All right, I have no idea how to show the styles there. So you know what? Let's ignore that then. Forget it. We'll just keep guessing until we get it right. So the nav bar has the padding. I mean, let me make the padding bottom 100, so that way we know it's obvious. Hit save, and it doesn't put up. Oh, you know what it is? It's probably not. Maybe one is above the other, so even if I put padding, it doesn't push the other one down. So maybe it's because, that's on. You know what? I put it on the navbar class, but I meant to put it on the navbar tag. Sorry, the nav tag. So let me hit save and see if this works. There it is. But actually, well, that doesn't even help. That's the padding on the other. Maybe it's on the margin then. Margin bottom. Let me hit save. That's what I want. I wanted to put a margin on the bottom here. All right, so let's change that. Instead of 100, let's make it like something realistic, like 20. And that looks better. Maybe 10. Can we get away with 10? Hit save. Yeah, 10 looks good. All right, so this is our get paid submission form. This is what we worked on today. For anyone just tuning in, as I usually say in the beginning of the, I don't like the way it breaks down either. Maybe I should. That's actually really weird. It really shouldn't be going all the way to the edge. Why is it doing that? Container row. Oh, because I did excess. Right? There's only one of those. Let's make this medium 12 so it collapses on itself. There we go. It'll collapse a little bit quicker. And that looks okay. The padding on the side looks okay. Maybe I can make it so that this is it's more condensed. It's not as wide also, because I'm going all the way across. Maybe I can make it like 8 and then offset it by 2 on each side. So that'll equal 4. And then that's 12 across. Sorry, I'm like thinking out loud. I'm thinking about the grid model. Whatever. It's neither here nor there. Just to recap what we did today in case someone's like scrolling all the way to the end and seeing what I created. We updated our form to be able to, make sure that we type in a valid email, valid name, valid file number. We made sure that no one can submit the form unless everything's valid. So they get a notification, an alert here if something's not valid as soon as they touch it and touch somewhere else. So if they click in the box and they don't give a valid email, if they like right now, file number, there's no warning or alert. But if I click on it and I pull away, then it gives me a warning saying, type in a file number with 6 or 7 digits. And we got that working. We also have the number of digits in the file number working. We have the email address has to be appropriate. We're validating that on the back end. We're validating it on the front end. So far, it's working. So, I don't know how perfect it is. If they type in like 5 digits, that's not going to work. It's still not going to make submit form enabled. They have to type in a 6-digit number, and then that alert goes away. And we also modified our drop down so that it says choose your school. So the issue we were having is that. So hold on. I'll get to that in a second. So, you choose a school. When you choose a program name, it doesn't automatically fill in the training dates because it will always say choose the training you attended first. So no matter how many times you click on a separate program, that was an issue I was facing. I spent some time on it yesterday on the stream trying to figure it out, couldn't figure it out. Then I got inspired to change the default drop-down item to choose the training you attended. I did the same thing for the school, choose a school. And now, if they choose a training and then they switch, it'll say choose the training you attended. Choose the training you attended for that specific program. So I am happy with this for today. I'm happy with the progress we made today. Once they choose a program, once they choose a, whoa. Why is this allowing me to submit the form if they haven't selected a training? Uh-oh. All right, we found a bug, and this happens. I think we're going to stop here for tonight. We got really close to being happy. That's okay. So now they choose a training, they depending on whatever day they attended. They hit submit form. They receive an alert saying, "Great job, the form was submitted." I don't have anything coming up if the form was not accepted or if it wasn't appropriate or if something went wrong. So I need to figure that out too. I'm going to hit close. Everything's cleared out. And if they click get forms, which they wouldn't, this is really just for the admin page that I'll have to create in the future. If they do click get forms, I'm able to hit the database and download everything. So the one I just made was coffee cup. That's what I named the person. Same email as all the other people, file number, the program they're in. But I could display other things that I've captured as well. So that is what I have so far. I'm thinking that in the future, I'm going to make it so that we can, instead of having, I want to make it so the user can see all of the trainings that are in the database that they've attended. So I was thinking initially to create user accounts and username, passwords, all that stuff, and have people register. But I think a better way would be just to say, enter your file number, enter your email address, and then it'll hit the server from there. Instead of having to, create account and store that and keep it safe. Sorry about that. I just hit the table. I think that's just a better way. If someone knows your email and your file number, then they know a lot about you. So that is what we got for today. We are currently at 36 hours, 7 minutes, and a few seconds. So I'm going to stop the stream now. We lost 2,000 frames today. So our computer lagged out, not the computer, but the internet lagged out just a little bit. And you can see this is the item that was just inserted into the database. So let me stop the clock. We're going to stop it at 36 hours, 7 minutes, and 40 seconds. And we will continue tomorrow. We have 24 hours left, a little bit less than 24 hours now. So I need to stream for one full day over the next 6 days. So we have our work cut out for us. But I will see you all next time. I hope you enjoyed. If anyone's crazy enough to have gone through the last 4 hours of this stream, I hope you've enjoyed this. And thank you for watching. For those of you that came in and said hi or asked a question or said something, thank you so much for doing so. So I will see you all tomorrow. Bye for now. No. Are you sure you wish to exit? No, I don't want to exit. I want to end the stream. All right. So, sorry, I'm just talking to myself. I'm going to end the stream right now. Maybe not. Maybe I'm still going.